guys, here with a new video for the channel. I hope you like it, and if you like it, don't forget to leave your powerful like Supreme God level, comment, and subscribe. Now without further ado, get comfortable. Let's begin. Daishinkan, together with Kakarot, would return to the Kingdom of the Whole, while Ymira, the Supreme God who had been defeated by a simple child, would arrive with Aori, who was the most powerful Supreme God among all the gods. And even his power was superior to Daishinkan's power. The moment Ymira arrived, an incredible pressure would fall on his body, and throughout the place, Aori's voice would resonate. Ymira, the Supreme Gods never meet us unless it's a megversal extinction threat. And from what I understand, it's not the situation. I'll kill you if you have nothing to say. I'm sorry, Aori-sama. But really, what I have to tell you, I'm sure it will interest you, since it's about your rival, Daishinkan. Aori would instantly stop releasing her incredible pressure, allowing Ymira to be able to tell her everything that happened, and even that she had a disciple who at only 15 years old had already surpassed the power of all the destructive gods and several supreme gods. I understand the reason why you've come to me, but you are right. A child with that ability should not exist. We must put an end to that damn genius. Meanwhile, in the Kingdom of the All, father and son would finish the training. They would both start talking about the battle against the Supreme God. Father, have I done well? But why did you let me use all my power? My dear son, if you used all your power, you destroy everything, because the two most powerful bloods of this vast universe run through your body. I want to become much more powerful, Father. I want to be the most powerful angelic Saiyan of all the universes. Of course it'll be like that, my little Kakarot. Well, what do you think if we train again in that dimension different from ours so that no one feels our power? That sounds great to me, Father. Let's do it! That's how both warriors started their training again. But unlike the strength training they normally used to do, this time Daishinkan was training Kakarot's internal energy and his vision about the divine world and mortal world, because Kakarot wanted to destroy everything in his path. And in the same way, being a son, between an angel and a Saiyan, his appearance would remain permanent like that of a teenager, even if he is hundreds of years old. Returning with the Supreme Gods, the 6 Supreme Gods, they began to devise a plan to finish with that warrior. However, a demon who was also considered the Supreme God would take a step forward. But we must be prepared to end that whole divine world, because if what our companion Ymira has informed us, that child is very important to the High Priest and the King of the Whole. Reich is right, because if we attack that brat, we have to have the power or the ideal plan to be able to finish off the divine beings that come our way. You're right. What would be a big problem, but how about if Aori and we face Zeno-sama, since we are both the most powerful Supreme Gods, while you finish with Daishinkan and that brat? I totally agree with Savitar, the Supreme God of Time. Since defeating the 2 most powerful pillars of the entire divine world, the other gods and angels are mere worms compared to our power. However, one of them, third most powerful god, had not given an opinion about him, since his heart was pure goodness, unlike his other companions. Everything that my classmates are doing are not my ideals. How is it possible that they want to end the life of a simple child? I would only think this. However, instantly the power of the remaining 5 Supreme Gods would be brutally thrown at Yashi, who is the oldest Supreme God and with noble heart. Damn, Yashi, did you think that we didn't know your intentions? You wouldn't be able to end the life of a mere child, and we'd better seal you. The power of these 5 Supreme Gods was incredible. However, everyone took a great surprise to witness how the god they considered useless began to destroy each of their barriers. That's right, the power of the god Yashi was able to consider the Beast Man was abominable, even being a much greater power to the power of Aori, which was considered the most powerful Supreme God. Do you not think that with your simple powers you'd be able to seal me? With that, it would be impossible for such pathetic beings like you. Have you forgotten who founded the Kingdom of the Supreme Gods? Of course we knows you, but you don't have the power to withstand the barrier of 5 of us. It's impossible for you to get. For me, it was never impossible. Transformation! God Beast! Instantly, the entire human appearance of the god Yashi would begin to transform, until the moment of even appearing a few marks on his body, and even nails would grow from it. Yashi, with a powerful blow, was able to destroy all the energy barrier, with which he was able to leave that place. Despite his power being so great, Iori was able to cross his body with a grate. That hurt me. What the hell was that energy? Apparently the rumors are true. Inside that shell of a simple human, asleep the legendary beast god. But it's a pity that you haven't been able to do something. Returning to the realm of the whole, in the special dimension, Kakarot was able to learn total control of his internal energy, while his father Daishinkan was watching all the progress of his son.
Good. Would you be very proud of your son?
Instantly, Kakarot would open his eyes completely, being able to observe the silver color, hinting at the impressiveness that he exuded from his entire body. That's right, Kakarot had been able to achieve 50% of the Ultra Instinct. Father, what is all this power running through my body?
As I can see, that is the state of imperfect Ultra Instinct.
I'd like to dominate this whole state completely, but Father, I want to meet more Saiyans. I want to know what happened to my race. Daishinkan would change his expression to a much more serious one, as he knew that this day would come.
My little son, your race was destroyed by a tyrant who calls himself the Emperor of Evil, Frieza.
Kakarot would lose the Ultra Instinct, and he would raise his power in a surprising way to Super Saiyan Blue. But the Ultra Instinct, being a state of calm, was not able to control it completely. The whole place would start shaking by the power of Kakarot. Father, I want to go to that tyrant. I want to finish with my own hands with that damn bastard who dared eliminate my entire race.
Okay, Kakarot, you are an adult now, and have the full knowledge of good and evil.
Kakarot would return to his base state, but he was very upset. The moment he left that dimension, at an incredible speed, he was heading towards Universe 7, which at the moment of arrival, he would begin to concentrate his feel powers to similar of his. But it would be impossible for Kakarot to have angelic blood. However, on a certain planet, he would feel like thousands of lives would disappear. Hell, this is not the reason I came to this place, but I can't let the being who is killing these warriors stay alive. Kakarot at a great speed would arrive towards the planet, being furious to realize that among the annihilated, there were only children while his power grew. Damn, how are you able to take down mere children? No, I'm done with you.
Ha 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 ha! Don't you know who I am? I'm the Emperor of Evil, the Great Frieza.
Kakarot would become even more enraged, realizing that the being in front of him was responsible for ending his entire planet. However, Frieza would immediately realize that it was a Saiyan.
You're a Saiyan? Ha 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 ha! I thought I'd finished with our race several years ago. I've been finished with each of the survivors.
In that case, I'll end your pathetic life this very instant. Kakarot, without letting Frieza react, would grant him a powerful blow, which would send him flying towards a few mountains. The Emperor would quickly recover from that furtive blow, and upon realizing the power of that blow without trusting himself, he would pass to his last form.
For a simple ape, you are very powerful. So I would ask you only once. Wouldn't you like to be part of my army? You would be the Supreme Commander.
Me being part of your army? Don't make me laugh, you damn worm. You're a simple scum on the side of me. You don't deserve that, even I'm a Saiyan. That transcends everything existing will finish you. Frieza, furious at being undressed in such a way, would throw himself against Kakarot, who without any difficulty was able to dodge each of his blows. Frieza was very surprised by all the power that gave off that Saiyan. Is that really all your power? Give me your best shot. I promise not to dodge it. In case you move me from this place, I'll forgive your pathetic life. Frieza was a little afraid with his maximum power, would instantly hit the face of Kakarot. A great light was detached from the whole place, but instantly one could observe Kakarot with a cold countenance, without any expression. You are not able to make me any scratch. This instant I'll finish with you. Die, murderer! Kakarot, with a few moments, had left Frieza sliced, and with a great attack would pulverize him completely. However, at that moment, when possessing angelic energy, he would rise in space and was able to feel the energy of Whis, an energy very similar to his. Kakarot, without thinking, would quickly come with Whis, arriving in a matter of minutes.
Whis would change his expression to a very serious look because he would feel a gigantic power approaching towards the planet of his god of destruction, the same one that was rested. The power that is given to arrive is a gigantic power, but there is something that intrigues me. The power that gives off has angelic essence. That must be impossible. At that moment, Kakarot would arrive, putting himself in front of Whis, which both would observe each other fixedly. The power of that being gives off is incredible. It must be one of my brothers, of whom my father told me. All this would go through Kakarot's mind. He would instantly throw a blow at him, which Kakarot would, without any difficulty, dodge. I could tell you have angelic energy, and also have the dexterity of one, but your appearance is that of a Saiyan. What are you supposed to be? I'm a hybrid, the mixture between an angel and a Saiyan, and I'm here to test the power of one of the angels, since I've never known defeat. Whis would be very surprised by the relief of that Saiyan. But at that moment, the god Beerus would wake up from his sleep due to the incredible noise that was outside. But before getting angry at not allowing him to sleep, he was surprised by the pressure that both beings gave off. That's right, the pressure that Kakarot and Whis gave off, they left Beerus very surprised. What the hell? Whis, I've never experienced a release of this level. I can't believe it. Instantly, both brothers began to collide blows. Kakarot only collided blows with the intention of measuring the strength of his opponent, while Whis, not knowing that it was his brother, his blows were much more powerful and of abysmal damage. Kakarot, being caught off guard, would be sent to the planet, creating an incredible crater. From that blow, I already doubt that you'll get up, since not even a god of destruction would be able to withstand it. From the crater, a blue aura would detach. That's right, Kakarot had access to Super Saiyan Blue, but the power he possessed was unreal. You're right. That blow you dealt me was no normal god would take, but I've been able to fight against supreme gods, so you better not underestimate me. Whis and Beerus were surprised to learn that the being in front of them had been able to even defeat supreme gods. Kakarot on this occasion of a great blow would send Whis to fly. Without waiting for him to recover, he would throw a great attack of energy, which made Whis leave with several wounds all over his body. Meanwhile, in the territory of the supreme gods, Yashi had been able to escape, but his vitality was being lost quickly. That's right, his power was decreasing in an amazing way. I, the legendary beast god, will not die, but I'll have to face the god of death to be able to come back to life, and it's the last thing I want to do. The power of the beast god was rising in a great way, that even a beast in his aura would be formed from all the power he had raised. On the other hand, in the All Realm, Daishinkan would notice the battle between Whis and Kakarot, which was about to head towards the Universe 7, and 5 amazing powers would appear in the All Realm. The 5 supreme gods would appear in the king's palace at all. However, a sinister aura was felt all over the place that Daishinkan would notice.
Damn, these wretches have chosen the worst time. I don't know what it is that they want, but their aura and essence eminent pure evil.
When Daishinkan tried to approach the supreme gods, they would begin to attack him. Without allowing him to engage in a conversation, Daishinkan, when dodging one of his attacks, realized that the power with which they told him that blow was from another world. That's right, the simple blow, when colliding with the surface of the Kingdom of the Whole, would cause an incredible explosion. Daishinkan would take a little distance, communicating with each of the gods and angels.
My children and gods, we're under enemy attack of the supreme gods, and mainly to you, my children. I have something to tell you, and I hope I can see you again soon, since apparently this will be my last battle.
All the children of Daishinkan would receive such a message, including Kakarot, who was facing Whis. Kakarot would, upon receiving a message, someone neglected his defense, being beaten by. I'll finish you in the next attack. We will have waited for Daishinkan's disposition. How is it possible that the supreme gods are attacking us? Whis would throw a great attack towards where Kakarot had fallen, but all that power would disappear, being able to observe a silver hair as well as his eyes. That's right, Kakarot realized the situation in which his father was able to reach a state of calm, but at the same time a state of confusion, being able to activate the Ultra Instinct, but the power that came out of Kakarot's body was much more powerful than the power possessed by the angels, despite having trained for millions of years. Father, I'm not gonna let you die. I'll come to your aid. I'm not going to wait for some damn orders while you die. Beerus, along with Whis, were surprised since all of the gods and angels had transmitted such a message, and if Kakarot had received it, it only meant one thing.
What, that little Saiyan is the son of the great priest?
Upon receiving the message, it seems that he's our half-brother, but it can't be, since he does not possess any physical traits of ours.
But Whis, that Saiyan, he possesses angelic energy. Don't you remember what he said? That he even fought the supreme gods?
This should have a logical explanation, but it's not the right time. Meanwhile, in the Kingdom of the All, the supreme gods would begin to seal Daishinkan'S. Priest, you should have never taken your disciple into the world of the supreme gods. All of us have decided to end him, because at such a young age, he gives off that power. He is a danger to everyone. Daishinkan, while being sealed, was not able to do absolutely anything. However, at that moment, an incredible blow from outside was able to weaken the seal, and with the overwhelming power of Daishinkan, he was able to free himself with great difficulty. I will not allow them to seal my father. If they want to do to him, they have to go through my corpse. All of the supreme gods were surprised to realize that the warrior who called himself the disciple of Daishinkan was actually his son.
It's a pity, but Daishinkan, I'm not an animal to kill you, seal, in front of your son. So for this occasion, I'll kill both, so that both disappear.
Kakarot, get out of here!
No, father, I plan to stay with you until the end.
Leave, Kakarot. I cannot release and fight with all my power if you're here. My energy can hurt you.
Kakarot, being about to leave Sorat, would get in his way. Daishinkan, being about to help him, he would be surprised to observe Sorat's head fall to the ground, and a large sphere of energy would be disintegrated. The four gods were surprised by the power that Saiyan had.
Ymira, Savitar, and Reich, you take care of that kid. And I'll take care of Daishinkan personally, since he and I used to have the same power.
Hell, Aori's power has risen in an incredible way. But where is the king at all?
Daishinkan, I know you're wondering where the king is at all. But he wouldn't have come to this place without taking the respective measures.
Maybe you guys. How were they able to defeat Zeno-sama?
No one talked about beating him. Zeno-sama is a little kid, so tricking him was easy. The only thing that was able to take down his guardian stealthily.
Hell, in that case, we're all alone. But gods and angels are on my side.
At that moment, a general call for all the gods along with their angels to approach the Kingdom of the All. Since it was an emergency, all the gods began to come to the Kingdom of the All.
It's a good plan, but before they even arrive, I must have already finished you. Because besides me, you're simple trash.
Don't get confused, Aori. We have the same power, while I have trained, which makes you think to not raise my power anymore.
You're right, Daishinkan, but look behind you.
At that moment, Daishinkan, turning his head, was able to observe how Kakarot had been completely neutralized. That's right, despite Kakarot having an incredible power, he was not able to do anything against the three subjects.
So, Daishinkan, do you want to confront me at the risk of your child dying, or do you want to give yourself up for your own free will?
Daishinkan would lower his head while his lips moved a little.
Angelic quadrupling, Angel of the Specters, High Priest.
Aori would be sent to fly with an incredible blow that would make him collide with an exploding planet instantly. Daishinkan, with his incredible speed, would grant a blow to each god who had held Kakarot. At the moment, Daishinkan would observe his little son while he changed his strange energy in his palm of his hand.
My son, get together with all your brothers. That is to say that each one of you, the angels, among all of you, you'll be able to overcome this adversity. I love you, son.
Daishinkan would throw a great energy towards Kakarot, which would be teleported towards divine universes, while Daishinkan would begin to channel all his power.
Aori, how dare you threaten me with my son? Even if I die, I plan to take at least two of you with me.
The whole body of Daishinkan would begin to shine. Instantly, an immense megaversal explosion could be observed by the 12 universes. The angels which were heading to the Kingdom of the Whole would stop, since the big explosion would be able to be observed at a distance, and only the shockwave was able to cause great damage to the gods. Our father had sacrificed himself. The warrior who forced him to this must have been an absolute monster, but they have both died. You are wrong, my brother. My father has died, but the 4 warriors he was facing all are still alive. Daishinkan, while sacrificing himself, would communicate with each of his children.
My children, I'm sorry. Me, being the High Priest, has broken the most important rule. Do not associate with any mortal. You all have a younger brother, which is my son and Saiyan. I hope you'll excuse me.
The explosion would end, while all the angels were very surprised by the great revelation of his father. Meanwhile, in the Kingdom of the Whole, Aori was furious, knowing that the most dangerous being had been saved. However, on a planet very far from a universe unknown to all, Daishinkan would fall very badly injured and on the verge of death.
So I haven't died. This is a blessing, but I have to hibernate to be able to recover. I trust you, my little Kakarot.
Daishinkan would be out of combat while Kakarot had arrived at one of the planets of the Divine Universes. Instantly, if he arrived, he would be unconscious. However, for Kakarot's fortune, he had been found by Mikoshin. That's right, Daishinkan's mother, who would realize that he possessed angelic energy, taking him to a place on his planet, which he specialized in the recovery of internal energy. Meanwhile, in the Kingdom of the Whole, the 4 supreme gods would begin to meditate so that all your energy is completely stabilized. However, the most psychologically affected was Savitar.
Damn it! How is it possible that he attacked me with such great speed? It was said that no one was capable of surpassing my speed, but for that priest, it was no difficulty to leave me like a worm.
Meanwhile, with each of the angels, they were in the most inhospitable planets of the 12 universes so as not to be discovered.
Hey, Whis, why don't we travel to the other universes outside of the 12?
Mr. Beerus, that would be impossible for us, because the power that is needed to cross megversal barriers is of another level. We would be pulverized. Returning with Kakarot, he would wake up from a great fright, accessing even the Super Saiyan Blue. Apparently all a nightmare, but he would be surprised to observe a warrior very similar to his father, but in a female version.
Am I dead? What happened?
Of course not, little one. You have only fallen into the divine universes. I am Mikoshin, and who are you?
My name's Kakarot. I'm a hybrid between an angel and a Saiyan.
Mikoshin would be very surprised to realize that an angel had been involved with a mortal, but much more was her astonishment to realize that her father was Daishinkan. That's right, he was her own son. Instantly, Mikoshin would hug Kakarot tightly, which he understood absolutely nothing.
What do you mean, grandson? Are you the mother of my father, Daishinkan?
So it is, little Kakarot. I'm Daishinkan's mother, but tell me, why did you come with those wounds? Who were the wretches who dared to kill almost my little grandson?
Those responsible were the supreme gods. They attacked my father while I was facing Whis, so I went to his aid, finishing with one of them, but between 3 they were able to neutralize me completely.
But where was Daishinkan? Where was he? Why didn't I help you?
My father Daishinkan gave me the perfect opportunity, since he was the one who sent me to this place. He sacrificed everything for me so that, for a reason, I want to become more powerful, to end every one of those
Those bastards, they will be eliminated by my dear grandson, and don't worry that I, the supreme high-level priestess, personally took care of your training.
I really appreciate it very much.
Before starting with your training, I want to raise your power to the maximum. I want to observe what is the limit of your power. Kakarot would immediately begin to raise his power to the limit, accessing the Super Saiyan Blue Phase 3, with which his power was gigantic. However, it did not compare with the Ultra Instinct. However, he was still not able to access that state at will. But despite this, Mikoshin would be very surprised. The power he possesses is amazing. At only 21 years old, he possesses the power of even being to have trained for millions of years. All this, she would say to herself. Instantly, Mikoshin would stretch out one of her hands, creating a pentagram on top of Kakarot's. That's right, Mikoshin had sealed 90% of Kakarot's internal energy, which would be very surprised. And this time, it was hard for him to move freely.
What's happened? Why is this happening to me?
In order for your energy as a Saiyan to grow much faster, you will have to travel all the way from 0. But don't worry, when I unlock your power again, it will rise in a way never seen before. Trust me.
Of course, yes. Let's start.
Kakarot, despite all his attempts to take the training to his equal, it was impossible for him. Since he just was standing in an incredibly difficult, much more to dodge or launch energy attacks. Mikoshin, who was watching everything, was very proud of her grandson's power, since even her son Daishinkan had gone through that training, not being able to stand. You will be the prodigy of our race, the supreme angelic Saiyan. Meanwhile, in the world of supreme gods, a golden-colored stone would begin to rotate with incredible speed. And at the moment, the beast god would appear in his most powerful state, cursing each one of his other companions who turned their backs on him, despite having taught them everything about the world of the supreme gods.
The powerful god Yashi was releasing all his beastly power, which was perceived by the four supreme gods, and even by the mother of Daishinkan, so it had been felt by the powerful Mikoshin-sama, who would quickly recognize that key. Wow, apparently after millions of years, Yashi had decided to release the true power for which even our clan gave life. Flashback. Hundreds of millions of years ago, in the highest territory of the supreme divine gods, or better known as the gods of infinity, a powerful baby with white hair had been born. But at the moment of birth, he was able to kneel to 80% of all the gods of the divine universes or higher. I am very proud of the power that my son has. He will be the true ruler of everything that I have built. He is the chosen. But, Father, I'm your firstborn. This should not happen since the law supports me. I'll not allow a newborn to keep everything that by law belongs to me. Noah, which was the name of the god, would pounce against his brother. His father would try to stop him, but he was able to overcome his speed. However, at the moment of granting him a great blow, a powerful beast would form all over the place. That's right, he was the first Ozaru in the upper world and likewise his first appearance. I don't know what I am, but I know that this baby's my master. I'll not allow any of you to hurt him. I don't care if you're family. You and I will crush like simple ants. Damn useless beast, you don't know who we are, so you better get out of my way if you don't want to die. The gigantic Ozaru would not say absolutely, watching him intently, which the god, furious in the same way, launched himself against him. But on this occasion, the Ozaru would not dodge any of his blows, but the fists of Noah, who was in the ranking of the 5 most powerful gods, was being rattled, that's right, just by hitting the skin of that beast. His fists were bleeding. You've been warned, King Beast, freeze! At that instant, everything around him would freeze, and even a great pressure would be felt all over that place. That's right, the pressure of the beast god would be felt for the first time despite being only a baby. The pressure was able to make all the gods kneel, with the exception of one, who was the king of that world and the father of Yashi. I realize that my son's power is impressive, and you should not worry because we will give him the best attention, and nothing will ever happen to him. I hope so, since the murderous essence of his supposed brother is true. He really wants to end Yashi's life, and I'll never allow that. All this had happened while that god had evolved and was able to surpass all the geniuses of his clan, and far above his brother and father. However, one day an ambush infinite divinity level was his downfall, in which, despite Yashi using all his power, he was not able to do absolutely anything, was banished from 90% of all his powers. But despite only having 10% of his powers, he was able to become the most powerful supreme god, and even training the powerful Mikoshin-sama, who likewise suffered exile, being his main angel. Mikoshin, I really appreciate your loyalty to me. I promise that we'll take revenge on the whole divine world. Even my own family turned their backs on me. Don't worry, Yashi-sama. I'll always be there for you, because thanks to you, I have been. Yashi would offer to teach them everything he knew, until the most powerful god Aori betrayed him again as well as his family. And flashback. Mikoshin was right. After all, one can't trust anyone because they're simple worms. They're simple garbage. I intend to finish with every one of those miserable. Meanwhile, with Kakarot's training, he was able to master his power. However, without Mikoshin or anyone from the divine world knowing, inside Kakarot, Yashi's power was sleeping. That's right, Kakarot, despite being Kakarot's son, Yashi was able to grant him a gigantic power while Gine was pregnant. If everything I was able to see in the future is correct, this baby is the salvation of everything existing, and I trust that Daishinkan and Mikoshin will grant him the necessary power. Going back to Daishinkan, he was in hibernation, but the pain of your body would wake him up.
because superficially he was healed, but internally, despite having spent a few months of his internal energy, still in a total out of control.
Hell, I won't be able to recover if my energy continues this way. I have to do and fast, since instead of healing my body has been decreasing.
Daishinkan, with his whole body in terrible condition, would be able to perceive a little of the power of Kakarot, with which, using his few energies, he would be able to use the same ability to go to the same place. However, the power he would acquire would be much greater, since halfway Daishinkan would fall on a planet completely bleeding out due to his bad state.
Damn, I haven't been able to get out with my little Kakarot. Apparently, this place will be where the great priest will die.
But luck was on Daishinkan's side because, at the moment, Yashi would appear next to him, putting a hand on Daishinkan's chest and transmitting an overwhelming power, which was able to heal all Daishinkan's wounds completely. But in the same way, he was breaking every one of his bones. Priest, thanks to you, all these universes will survive. But right now, you have to master all that power, because Kakarot needs you. In case you're not with him, Kakarot will sink in a path of blood. Daishinkan, knowing all this, he would try to control the power as of place, but each of his bones was broken at every moment. However, after 3 hours of incredible pain, Daishinkan was able to control the power a little, managing to decrease his power, but still he was not able to walk due to how heavy all his power was.
His power is incredible, but aren't you the god Yashi? It was said that you were one of the weakest supreme gods.
It's what I was always made everyone to believe, but even my power surpasses the bastard of Aoi.
I swear I'll end that wretch's life. Because of him, I'll send Kakarot far away. I just hope he is well.
Don't worry about Kakarot for now, he's fine. But you have to master all the power I've granted you 100% for you to be able to defeat the rebellious gods.
But you have the necessary power to defeat him.
That's right, but this power is for another matter. Right now, I don't know if I'll come back, but I'm grateful for that savior and successor has been born, so I can leave in peace. Daishinkan, before he could say anything, Yashi had disappeared with his great speed, being able to cross hundreds of high-ranking divine barriers. That's right, Yashi had headed to the world of the gods' infinity. The moment he arrived, he was able to observe his brother, who, a little confident after millions of years had passed, would transport behind Yashi, talking to his ear. How long about seeing you, brother? But I can tell that your power is still sealed. It's a shame. On this occasion, I'll take revenge for all that humiliations. At the moment that Noah would try to grant him a blow, Noah's head would be torn from a great blow, which had the power to finish with the most powerful infinity god. Ha ha ha! Damn worm, you're right. My power is still sealed, but I need all my power to finish with a fucking trash like you are. The whole floor would be filled with blood, while at that moment, all the warriors rushed against Yashi, who began to fall defeated one by one. Instantly, the king and father of Yashi would appear in front of him, releasing all his power, realizing that he had ended the life of Noah.
It was your brother. You're a murderer. Now I'll end your life.
Father and son began to exchange blows at incredible speeds. However, it was absolutely nothing for Yashi's power, which, despite having 90% of all his power sealed, he was able to humiliate his father, while all the other warriors were annihilated by the simple extortion of his fists. Instantly, Yashi was able to connect a big blow, throwing him to the ground. Ha 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 ha! What's the matter, father? Is that the power of the king of the universes of infinity?
You're a monster. You're the worst thing that could have happened to these universes.
I was your son. I'll die just like all of you. I don't plan to die without my family. Yashi's whole body would begin to light up with a great light. All the warriors, realizing that Yashi was doing, began to flee. However, it was impossible for them since Yashi had sealed the entire infinite universe. We will all die here, as none of you will be able to withstand a supreme infinite level explosion, as is my power. At the moment, the big explosion would be divided into 4 great powers, which began to destroy everything around them, and even ending the life of every living being in the multiverse. The lives that would disappear were even felt by Mikoshin. So after millions of years, you have found your successor. For that reason, you have finished the whole universe of infinity. But Mikoshin did not know that the successor of the beast power was her beloved grandson, whom she was training. That's right, since Kakarot's power still did not reach even 2% of its real capacity, Kakarot's power would explode when he was able to enter the Valley of Infinity. On the contrary, he only possessed the power of an angel and a Saiyan. Meanwhile, in all of Kakarot's training, he himself was able to master the Ultra Instinct to the maximum.
Mikoshin-sama, I've been able to master the Ultra Instinct to its maximum power. I'm ready for the next training.
That surprised me, Kakarot. This time I will be your training. That's right, you should be able to give me a hit.
Of course, if I want to avenge my father's death and become the most powerful being in existence, I'll have to try much harder.
The new training began between Mikoshin and Kakarot, had started with which Kakarot wanted to break all his limits as a Saiyan. Meanwhile, with Daishinkan, he was also meditating in an alternate dimension since he wanted to overcome his limits. In the same way,
The mighty god Yashi entrusted me with all this power. I'll not disappoint him. I'll be able to master all the power, and I'll end the lives of those miserable.
Daishinkan would continue with his great training, which was making Daishinkan's power increase incredibly by possessing in his entire body the power of the Beast God. Meanwhile, with all the four Supreme Gods, these had completely recovered.
It's time to start looking for that dwarf. Since knowing that his father had died, he must have powered up. We can't allow that.
You're correct, but how do we find it? We're not able to feel the power of that child.
It'd be better to destroy this entire multiverse, since apparently it has great closeness with the beings of these worlds.
Iori would begin to channel a large sphere of fire, with which he wished to destroy everything in his path.
What will happen next? Find out in the next chapter. Well guys, this is all for today's chapter. I hope you liked it and it was to your liking. Now don't forget to leave your powerful like Supreme God level, comment and subscribe. Now without further ado, see you in a new video. Until next time.
At the precise moment that both Saiyan warriors, the shadow creatures, collided their attacks, the explosion resulting from the collision of the attacks left a crater on the battlefield, while a dense smoke obscured the view. Amidst the haze, Goku with a serious but confident expression, and Vegeta, also with a confident expression of having destroyed the shadow creatures with his attacks, stood on guard, ready to face whatever emerged from this smoke. Suddenly, as soon as the smoke dissipated from the battlefield, the shadowy creatures emerged unharmed, floating in the air with an even more intense presence. Their forms twisted, revealing an even darker and more powerful transformation. Now with eyes glowing with a more intense light, the shadow creatures uttered a great malevolent laugh and moved towards Goku and Vegeta with renowned ferocity. The sky was covered with dark clouds and lightning intermittently illuminated the scene. The creatures, once scattered, began to converge into a chaotic mass. Their bodies intertwined and merged, creating a monstrous entity that emanated a dark and malevolent aura. The fusion of the creatures was completed with a loud roar, and before Goku and Vegeta emerged, a nightmarish creature. The fused creature had a grotesque figure, with twisted limbs and glowing eyes filled with evil. Its body was enveloped in a halo of dark energy, which distorted the space around it. The ground shook with every step he took, and the waves of evil energy generated chaos on the battlefield. Goku and Vegeta exchanged determined glances. They knew they faced an unprecedented threat. The fusion of the creatures had given rise to a being of incredible power and speed. Goku frowned, clenching his fists, while Vegeta gave a cocky grin.
Kakarot, looks like things have become interesting. I didn't expect to have to face something like this.
Yes, Vegeta, this creature's no joke. We're gonna have to give it our all.
Both warriors raised their ki to the maximum, surrounding themselves with an intense golden and blue aura. Their hair stood on end and the earth trembled under the pressure of their combined power. The fused creature responded with a guttural laugh and advanced towards them with great strides.
Come on, Vegeta, let's attack together and put an end to this.
For once, Kakarot, I agree.
The battle reached its climax as Goku and Vegeta, enveloped in their golden and blue auras, launched themselves towards the fused creature. Every punch and burst of energy echoed through the air, creating a spectacle of flashes and booms. The creature, however, was not easy to defeat. Its agility and strength were astounding, dodging the Saiyan's attacks with ease.
Vegeta, we need to find an opening in its defense! Focus!
I know, Kakarot, but this thing's fast!
The fused creature responded with a ripping attack, sending the Saiyans flying across the battlefield. Goku and Vegeta, however, quickly recovered and stood up with renewed determination.
We can't underestimate this thing! Come on, Vegeta! Let's attack together!
Alright, Kakarot, together we'll defeat it!
Goku nodded and they concentrated their energies into an amazing combined attack. A brilliant flash of light and blue light materialized in their hands, growing with each second. The fused creature, seeing the imminent threat, tried to counterattack, but it was too late.
Kame! Ah! Final Flash!
The powerful beam of combined energy shot towards the fused creature, illuminating the dark battle with its radiance. However, just when impact seemed inevitable, the creature, in the last act of desperation, deployed a dark shield that managed to resist the Saiyan's assault. The result explosion sent Goku and Vegeta flying backwards, returning them to their base form, leaving them dazed and severely injured on the ground. The fused creature, though weakened, struggled to its feet, its malevolent aura flickering, but far from fading completely.
Vegeta, we're in trouble! This thing's stronger than we thought!
Vegeta, however, lay motionless on the ground with visible wounds and his aura rapidly diminishing.
Vegeta! Don't give up, Vegeta!
The fused creature, slowly recovering, calmly approached towards Vegeta with a palpable malevolence in its glowing eyes.
Your efforts are futile. I'm the amalgam of darkness itself. This is the end of you, Saiyan Prince.
Goku, full of rage and despair, stood up and threw himself towards the creature with what was left of his strength. However, the creature, with a simple wave of its hand, unleashed a wave of dark energy that enveloped Kakarot and threw him violently to the ground.
Vegeta, we need a plan.
The fused creature approached Vegeta, lifting him off the ground with one hand. The Saiyan Prince, barely conscious, opened his eyes to meet the cold, merciless gaze of his energy.
Kakarot, do whatever it takes.
The fused creature, with a contemptuous gesture, threw Vegeta back to the ground, leaving him on the verge of death. The battle, which had begun with hope, now became bleaker than ever. With his partner down and his own strength waning, Kakarot faced a strength that seemed insurmountable. Goku, sensing the desperation of the situation, recalled the hermit seeds he carried with him. The moment the fused creature came speeding towards him, Goku managed to dodge the blow swiftly, approached Vegeta and handed him one of the valuable seeds.
Vegeta, eat this! It'll give you the energy to keep fighting!
At the same time, Goku also consumed one of the seeds. Vegeta, barely conscious, accepted the seed and consumed it urgently. The hermit seed acted quickly, healing Vegeta's wounds and restoring his life energy. Flashes of golden light surrounded the Saiyan Prince as he stood up, his eyes regaining determination.
Kakarot, don't underestimate me. I can keep fighting.
Fine, Vegeta, but we need something else to defeat this creature. Do you remember the fusion technique?
Vegeta frowned but nodded in understanding. Both Saiyans positioned themselves in front of the fused creature, focusing their energies.
Vegeta, let's do it! Let's merge!
I don't think it'll come to this, Kakarot, but I have no choice.
Both warriors stood side by side, raising their hands into the front and began to concentrate their energies. The atmosphere was filled with a brilliant glow as the two Saiyans merged into a single entity. The resulting figure was a perfect combination of Goku and Vegeta, with a powerful golden aura enveloping their fused bodies. This fusion creature showed signs of unease as it witnessed the transformation. The new Saiyan entity turned to it with a determined look. The fusion between Goku and Vegeta, known as Gogeta, and his Super Saiyan form was now evident. Gogeta, with the combined voice of Goku and Vegeta, said, "Prepare for defeat. We're the fusion of the Saiyans, and there's nothing we cannot overcome." With a unified shout, the Saiyan fusion lunged towards the fused creature with incredible speed and power. The battle between the Saiyan fusion and the fused creature erupted into a frenzy of power and skill. Every move, every blow, every burst of energy shook the battlefield. The earth trembled under the intensity of the confrontation, and the sky lit up with the sparks of energy released during the fight. Gogeta, with the combination of Goku's cunning and Vegeta's determination, proved to be an unstoppable force. However, the fused creature did not yield easily, showing a resilience that defied expectations. Both contenders were at a stalemate, each pushing their limits to the max. Goku and Vegeta, in their fused form, began to feel the need to unleash more power to overcome their formidable foe. In a moment of perfect synchronization, both Saiyans raised their ki to the limit, and the atmosphere itself began to be distorted with the built-up pressure.
It's time to take this to the next level!
In a dazzling flash, the Saiyan fusion underwent an astonishing metamorphosis. His once golden hair now turned sapphire blue, and his aura took on a heavenly hue. The transformation to Super Saiyan Blue had taken place. The fused creature recoiled momentarily as it witnessed the new form. Shocked by the magnitude of the power unleashed, however, the Saiyan fusion showed no mercy and lunged towards with dizzying speed.
Prepare for true Saiyan strength!
The attacks and counterattacks reached a speed that defied perception. The fused creature, despite its previous endurance, was outmatched by the speed and aggressiveness of the Saiyan fusion in its Super Saiyan Blue form. The battle had not yet come to an end. In a final attempt to resist, the fused creature unleashed its own dark power, enveloping the Saiyan fusion in a spiral of chaotic energy. Gogeta, in response, concentrated his energy to the maximum in an act of rage.
Let's go farther!
The energy surrounding the Saiyan fusion intensified and exploded in a dazzling burst. The bright blue aura became more intense, and the power of the Saiyan fusion increased to unimaginable levels. The sky lit up with glows and waves of energy as the fused creature faced Gogeta's unstoppable strength. However, in an unexpected twist, the creature began to build up a dark and sinister energy, revealing a hidden power.
Your resistance is impressive, Saiyans, but you have not seen my true potential.
The fused creature transformed, its fusion distorting further. A black aura filled with malevolence surrounded its body as its eyes glowed with terrifying intensity.
What the hell is it doing?
The fused creature, now imbued with a new dark power, lunged at Gogeta with surprising speed. Despite Gogeta's formidable strength in his Super Saiyan Blue form, the fused creature seemed to be able to anticipate even more.
Now you'll experience true darkness.